Are you still watching Prime Morning? And I like how I was introduced in the sun. Am I in the sun? It just tells you that, it's a beautiful day, of course, and we are back again. And today is Wednesday, and I'm excited to come your way on Wednesday. So you know why. Anyway, before I delve into the other conversations, this one is more important to me. It's election year, and of course, we know the number of candidates we are going to see on the ballot sheet, and this man has finally made it on the ballot sheet. He tried in 2020, it didn't really work out, but this time around it's worked out. What are his policies that he is telling us that he's going to do if voted into power? He's going to share everything with us and also tell us how, I don't know. There are a lot of questions that I want to ask him. So I'll not talk too much. Let me introduce my guest to you. He's in the person of Mr. Kofi Koranteng. He is the 2024 presidential candidate for New Vision Movement. Hello, Mr. Kofi Koranteng.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well. How you been?
I'm fine, thank you.
You all set? Had breakfast?
I haven't had breakfast yet. I'm
you
yet
haven't.
to have breakfast.
So she doesn't have galamsey in her system yet. Because the cocoa will come with galamsey, the wachi will come with some galamsey. Everything comes with a little bit of spice, galamsey.
Really?
So, yeah.
But we are not there yet, are we?
What do you mean?
Have we gotten there where, everything is coming with galamsey already?
You were in it. You didn't realize you were in it? You in it. You want a sign that says galamsey is in you? You are in it. You eat galamsey, you breathe galamsey, the tubers, the cocoa, the wache, everything. Abenkwine galamsey.
What if I decide not to eat any of those?
Well, tell me how you do it, and I'll come with you.
Okay.
Okay, then it's going to be very expensive, because I don't know how anybody could decide to live in Ghana and not drink water, bathe, and your skin is permeable, right? So if you're using the water I use, then some of it is going into your skin. So galamsey.
Galamsey.
Yeah, baby.
Right.
Better believe it.
That's nice. Now, let me ask you this. What got you back into Ghana?
I've been in Ghana since 2019.
Yes. So what got you back from abroad? Because you were
Don't you see the havoc, the chaos? Any concerned Ghanaian wants to come to Ghana and do something positive. So it's sad to see the levels of degradation and the cluelessness with these governments the last 32 years. It's a fact. You cannot argue with me. Do you not see? When you travel out, do you not see? Look at you, nice, beautiful, East Laurent. Yeah. Do you go to East Laurent on Fifth Avenue and see how they do? And then you come to Ghana. And then you get this. Does it not bother you? So that's why I'm here.
To come fix the problem.
Of course, because it's so easy and so fixable. What is difficult about Ghana? Tell me one big, really huge problem that, like, unconceivably, unbelievably, undoably doable.
So how do you intend to fix galamsey then?
Simple. The galamsey. Who created galamsey? The government. If the galam, it's almost as if your body is cancer-ridden, and you telling me, how do I get rid of this cancer? Well, guess what? You ate yourself into cancer. If you stop eating the foods that cause you to have cancer, you rid your body of cancer.
But it's not easy to just get up and clear it. So what are your plans if you were voted into power? What will you do different to make sure you fight galamsey?
Okay, so first of all, Rosin, a couple of things. We have machines. All these huge earth-moving machines that come to Ghana, they don't fly at night. They come through the Ghana ports. Who controls the port? Who controls it? It's called government. Okay. Who gives the licenses out?
But licensed mining is not galamsey. That's the difference.
They all are they meeting the requirements? Do we have a specific laid down guideline that we can hold these people to? Anybody doing galamsey, anybody doing touching our lands. The lands are so badly mutilated, so bad, it's a havoc. They're cutting down trees, they're decimating forests, they're poisoning our waters. Everybody has a bit of skin in this game. You want to regulate it? Well, let's pull all the licenses back, recertify people to get back in there. Make sure you have what it requires. There are way too many people doing galamsey or people who've been given concessions. That should not be the case. Where do you think in the world where they have any mineral that they've given out licenses to ordinary people to go fetch it as much as you want? Nowhere in the world. In Ghana, just because the governments have refused to create jobs and develop people out of weakness of mind, go and fend for yourselves. And they destroy the land because of greed, lack of compliance, not clarity and lay down plans. Everybody ignores it. So it's the whole sector, the whole industry has to be pulled back, regulated to the T. This is a controlled substance, right? Anywhere in the world where people have to go into contact with controlled stuff. I'll give you an example. If your air conditioner in your car is not working, you go to a mechanic, they pull up the Freon. You know what Freon is, right? They call it the gas. They call it gas in Ghana, but it's called Freon. They pull up Freon, they put it in, Freon, it's carcinogenic. Anywhere in the world, it's a controlled substance. You cannot just let Freon go into because it depletes the ozone layer, right? In Ghana, if you don't have air conditioner, you go to I'm like, hey, you get so.
So do you agree with the bodies that are calling on the government to declare a state of emergency on illegal,
absolutely,
on illegal mining and both?
Absolutely. Listen, galamsey is the easiest thing to fix.
Easy to fix.
It's very easy to fix.
Have you tried to sell your idea to the government? Because as you said earlier, you did mention that, currently we are all consuming galamsey water.
Are.
And so it's worrying. We don't have to wait for 3 months to go to the polls to vote you into power before you do something about it. Have you tried to do something about it by selling your idea to the government?
Do they not know? They know?
If they did, they would have solved it. So since you know...
Are you kidding me? Do you honestly think the levels of criminality in the government is because the government don't know how to nip it? Or they have just allowed it to happen? You would be incredibly naive to think that the government does not know how to solve corruption. That's why we are eating and drowning in corruption. They don't want to fix it because it benefits them. That's how they make money. They didn't come into government to fix problems for Ghana. They came into government to enrich themselves. And for their agenda, they're doing very well.
And that will be different for you?
Absolutely. Why do you come into... Listen, this whole politics thing in Ghana, it's a way for people to amass wealth, rape the people, and decimate everything else.
How do Ghanaians believe that you are not here to amass wealth yourself?
Well, I'm not a politician. I'm a concerned citizen. And if you ask me questions, I give you answers. None of these guys, unless, of course, you're not paying attention. But if you've paid attention to all of these people who've been leading us for the last 67 years, most of them, 90% of them, have not given us answers to what we want. And yet we've given them the opportunity to come in and lead us. Did Akufo-Addo and Bawumia give us answers? Did you listen to their interviews? They didn't give us any answers. We voted for them because Edru Miso, it was their time to come in. So we voted for them the same way we've taken a look at everybody else. They do not understand. They don't have the mental capacity to really diagnose our problems and tell us this is what's wrong and how they're going to be able to fix it. They told us right from the beginning. I said Akufo-Addo is not going to be able to fix the problems because he doesn't know how. I said that about the DC government. They haven't fixed the problem. Did they fix the problem? Did they fix it? You live here. I live here with you, right? Have they fixed it? No. So why do we still allow them, and you guys, Joy and all the other news media, you allow them time because...
We just allowed you time as well.
Yeah, I know, but we can't... Listen, the nonsense has gotten to us this point, and at this point, we can't give people a chance who are not serving us. Really, listen, that gets to a point where you have to say, these people have not served Ghanaians. We know they haven't served us because there is a record. You see, NDC comes in, they have a record. So you take a look at the record and say, no, you don't qualify to be in this arena. You take a look at the MPP record and they don't qualify. And they still want to hammer down and push down our throats the garbage record that they have, that it's justified to vote for me. And that's upsetting.
Is it not for the people to decide?
It's for the people to decide, but this is what's wrong with democracy. Because democracy lumps everybody in together and says that majority wins. But just the fact that the most amount of people decide on something doesn't mean it's the best option for us. And that's why we have suffered. So democracy, it's effective for people who know how they're doing and making decisions. But if democracy is just for the numbers, then you run a risk of making bad decisions sometime, and this is why we have suffered, because the majority of people have been dispositioned, and out of ignorance, we make a lot of decisions. And we have allowed for people who are criminals to lead us, and that's why we have this as the end result. And you know what I'm saying is the truth. And it's about time that we need to change the way we do things, because you see, the bad people who, I tell you, a couple of years ago, I was in, it wasn't Trotro, it was, I boarded a van, a Sprinter to Ekrapim.
Okay.
And the driver was very reckless. And I told him, hey, listen, you can't drive like this. And they were like, hey, Mufi Abrucheba, you told, I said, no, you can't, this is dangerous. I got off. They said, got into an argument. Hey, brah, everybody, all the passengers in the car were shouting me down that, hey, listen, we need to get to where we're going. So, bottom line is, by the time we got to Humans, they dropped me off. Yeah. By the time they coming down in the Bree Mountains after Peduase, they got into an accident. They got into an accident. Nobody died, thank God, but they got into an accident. People got hurt. And see, and this is exactly why, you know, and it's happened to me a lot of times where when you know something is wrong, you have to sound the bell.
So how are you going to convince the people? Because currently, these two main political parties have their numbers, they have the following. You might have the ideas, you might have some policies that will work for Ghana, but are the people going to listen to you? Like you said,
if
you
they
were
don't
in a
listen,
car.
they suffer. Simple. Listen, at this point, Ghanaians need to know that there is something seriously wrong with the way we have done things. Listen, the same people, Rosalind, they buy the iPhones, they buy the Samsungs, they want all the beautiful things of the world. We have gotten to a point where we need to sit down and ask ourselves, why are some people on this other side of the world making things out of nothing? You go to Switzerland, you go to Japan, you go to Singapore, I traveled all over the world. And it blows my mind, the people I meet don't have an ounce of brains that we have as a people. We are smarter. We are a smarter people. You know that is a fact. But we have just made really bad decisions based on tribe, based on certain sentiments and religion, to allow for people who don't deserve to lead us. And it's made us all look like we are, citizens of a forgotten God. It's just bad leadership. Bad leadership is what's done it. That's the only thing. How can Switzerland not have anything and people there live like... It's just, it's painful.
Apart from politics, what do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm not doing anything. You can't do anything. And this is Ghana politics, man. They will slash you down.
Before politics, what were you doing?
My background is in engineering. I'm a financial consultant.
Okay. But you've put it on hold for now.
I had to.
How
this
long?
is a full-time job since 2019.
Okay. How do you
have a
survive?
job for me?
How do you survive?
This is it. It's tough, man. Gary and beans, man. Gobe every day, man.
You eat gobe every day?
Masa, Gobe. From here, we're going to Gobe, right? This is my...
How do you pay your children's school fees? How do you take care of the family?
We saved. And that's what, it wasn't, I cannot say that I planned it out to save for 20 years and then go into politics, because it wasn't something I dreamt about. But because of the savings, there's a little savings here. And then we have people who support us.
Okay.
We have friends who support us, who believe in what we're doing, and they support us.
And what's your wife saying about it?
She's not happy.
She's not happy?
We know how you, look at you cringing already at me. Like, I don't know if I want to be with this guy, man. Okay, so I know. The woman, it's tough. It's tough on my wife. She's doing an incredible job. I mean, I have two, like, tigers at home.
Okay.
And they tear her down.
Right.
I mean, it's tough. It's heartbreaking. But what are you going to do? You can't jump in and say you're coming out, because I love Ghana.
Right.
I mean, I love my family too, but it's, if we don't fix this thing, it's going to consume all of us.
Now, you made the decision, quit your job, come into Ghana politics. You haven't worked for how many years?
5 years.
5 years now. You haven't worked.
No.
Has this been the most challenging period of your life?
Absolutely,
Or there's been
without a
other
doubt.
challenging periods of your life?
This, without a doubt. But no regrets.
No regrets?
If I had to do it again, hopefully my wife is not watching.
Now, in 2019, you were hoping to be on the ballot sheet of, the elections. Unfortunately, you didn't make it.
I made it.
You made it?
I wasn't allowed on the ballot.
But the EC said you forged some signatures.
That's what the EC said.
But when they went to the police for investigation, again, they said that they found
They didn't go to any police.
29 signatures were forged.
19.
19,
actually.
okay.
Yeah. They didn't go to the police. I went to the police. I got a criminal clearance report. They said, nobody has come here to mention you. I said, oh, okay. The police said, get out of here. It's what they do. Go get ready for the next. And plus, I'm in a Japadie document. I'm in there, section 2.6.
What does it say about you?
They want to get me off because I'm a stubborn guy.
They mentioned your name in there?
I'm in, listen, make reference to a Japadie point, section 2.6. Kofi Koranteng, we need to get Kofi Koranteng this. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but they need to disposition me. I didn't even know till somebody
disposition you as in getting you off the ballot sheet, or disposition you as in taking your life? Which is which?
No, getting off the ballot.
Getting off the ballot
Yeah,
sheet. So
because I wasn't. Well, of course, it was intentional. I wasn't working with them, the powers that be, the MPP party. I wasn't working with them. Listen, my job and what I've always stood for is the best that I could do to help my people, I will do, because I'm a very competitive person. In New York, I worked, Securities and Exchange Commission, NASD. I worked in an incredibly competitive environment, and I was very good at what I did. And my peers will look at me and say, hey, you're so good. Go to your country and help your people.
All right.
And it's painful. It's very painful, Rosalind. And that's where I took my inspiration from. That if I'm this good, then, hey, I better go help my people. If I cannot help my people, then what good am I?
And for 5 years, you haven't been working.
No.
You know, my viewers at home who are watching will say that he's not been working for 5 years. And, we've had some presidential candidates who had to give up everything. Some even had to sell their family property just so they come to power. And they promised us that they were never going to touch the coffers. Now, you haven't worked for 5 years. What tells Ghanaians that if we vote you, you're not coming and amass the wealth that you've lost in the last 5 years?
It's not in my blood. Listen, anybody who's followed me knows, anybody who knows me from New York, they know the type of work that I do. I work for the Securities and Exchange. I was managed and supervised by the Securities and Exchange Commission for 24 years. I didn't even have a citation. I didn't have any report, any warnings. None of my clients had an issue with me in terms of my finances, how I dealt with them. I have a clean record, 24 years, and that's really tough to get. Okay.
That's what we're told by some others.
Yeah.
They have clean records.
And
it's
that's
not in
true.
their,
And that's
in their
true.
DNA. It's going to be different and all of that. So how do we believe you? Okay,
so a couple of things. And it's almost as if you wake up one day and you say to yourself, that's not point living because you could die tomorrow, which is a fact. You could die tomorrow. But do you stop living? What I'm saying is and what people do is anytime you embark in a position that there could be a possibility of somebody, you have to go through the process real quick. It's called the process of elimination. So if you stood up today and you said you wanted to be a president, we don't know how Rosalind is going to do, but you listen to Rosalind and they have to answer some questions. And you have to do some pruning and get into the person's mind. And from that, you get to feel basically how the person will perform. When you listen to every candidate for the last 67 years, prior to their interview, they coming in their performance, it gives you an indication of how somebody will do. A deep understanding of the problem. The first thing you understand, when you listen to people talk about, you basic poultry farms, you sell them and you get, and then you listen to another one saying, maybe see toilets, who did you now call toilet? I say, taxing sanitary pads and all of that as part of policy. You get an indication that these people have this amount of brains to work with.
You know, where you're coming from, taxation is really high. You know, the country is built on taxation.
Because they make income.
They make income. So here, how do we build our country without taxation?
You don't build countries with taxation. The first thing you do is you create avenues to make wealth. When people are making the money, they can buy anything and they don't care. When they're not making the money, everything becomes an issue. So the first thing is not to massage taxes. The first thing is to give people money.
How are you going to give them the money?
Simple, very simple. So we have arable lands.
What arable lands?
Arable lands.
Arable, okay, arable. Okay.
We have arable lands. We have the sun. We have water. So much so that it floods us. It kills us. Okay. So with the water situation is another ridiculous. Why don't we have reservoir up all the way from the top of north all the way down, off estuaries of the Volta? If we build reservoirs like they do in Singapore, it's the same system. They have power pumps that gates that opens up and the excess water goes into a reservoir. When they need the water, they pump it back into the water streams and it feeds the farmlands. Why can't we do that? So anyway, so the first thing we do is, and this is it, this is the problem, and this is the solution. We have to invest. I am going to invest $10 billion into agriculture every year for the next 10 years.
Okay. $10 billion every year.
For the next 10 years.
Where do you intend to get this money from?
Simple.
Because right now we can't borrow.
Where's the money?
Okay, so how are you getting that $10 billion?
How much money do we lose every year from corruption?
Okay, so you're going to get it from?
3 to 4 billion from corruption. How much money do we give in tax incentives to FDIs? How many people actually are supposed to pay taxes and don't pay taxes? People who work. They're out of all the population that works in Ghana, 80% of them are in medium, small enterprises, micro, small, and medium enterprises. 90% of that 80% is in the informal sector. Nobody knows how much money they're bringing. Why haven't we created an integrated national ID, an address system, ported them from that into a national data repository system?
But that's what is happening currently. The government.
Is it effective?
It's happening. It's a process. The government has started.
It doesn't take 7 years to do.
Okay.
It doesn't take.
How long does it take to do?
This is 3 to 6 months. You should be able to do it.
3 to 6 months to register every Ghanaian citizen?
Because close to 70% of Ghanaians are in the work for the government. So you already have their details. Right or right? This is not rocket science.
But we know that, you see, Ghana is not just Greater Accra region. There are people who are in deprived areas. And so it's not easy to get these people all the time to get them registered. It takes a while.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You're absolutely wrong and totally disagree with you. And let me tell you why. Every problem we have in Ghana, somebody else have had that problem and fixed it. Right or right? Or there won't be a Singapore. Singapore was 10 times worse than Ghana. Did they not fix their problem? I've been to Singapore. I've sat down. I've spoken to the planners, the developers. Ghana is a small problem. Now, if now you're talking about Ghana maybe 100 years ago, well, yeah, maybe structural problem. Everything we want to do, we already have. We have artificial general intelligence. We have augmented reality, cellular intelligence. We have quantum computing. We have Internet of Things. We have all these technologies. Are we using it? No. Why? I don't know, but it seems like the leadership does not have the mental capacity to plan things out because these are available. Somebody else, what phone do you use again? Do you make phones? Does your family own a phone factory? But you have a phone and it works and it serves you. It gives you value. You just decided you wanted a phone. Rosalind went, and maybe on her trip to Dubai the last time, or when she went away to New York or something, she went into a store and she bought the phone. That's how simple it was, right? You had the money, you knew you wanted service and value. You go into a store, you purchase what you want to give you the service. Do we not have the money? Tell me, do you know how much money comes from gold mining every year?
So that's where you're getting the $10 billion from?
No, I'm just saying, even if you were to look there, $20 billion of our gold ended up in the souks of Dubai.
Okay. All right. So those of you at home who want to join this conversation, you can on 055-157-575, 7055-757, and we'll definitely be talking more. Kofi Koranteng is our guest for this morning, the big interview, and this man is so knowledgeable, and of course, we need to get to know more about him. He's telling us the things that he will do to make sure he fixes the economy. He's going to fight Galamsey. He's going to make sure that he invests in agriculture as well. The other things that I'll ask him, but then we need to know who the man Kofi Koranteng is.
Kofi Koranteng, I was born in Kolubu. Went to school at Agri Memorial International, right next to Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
You went to Agri Memorial?
International.
International, okay.
Next to Broadcasting Corporation.
Okay.
You know, the school with all the
rich children's
rusted
school.
Where you pass? Yeah. Masa, Jai Rough. Wait, the bridge behind out there. Did you see the roofing? It's all the rusted.
At that time?
No, they say
now, but then it was the ish.
Masa. Obviously, she's way too young, yeah, so she doesn't know. So anyhow, went to Agri Memorial International, went to University Primary in Cape Coast, went to Garrison Primary in Kumasi, went to Adisadel College, then went to London, then ended up in New York, and that's where I lived most of my life.
So you left Ghana after secondary school?
Not after, but when I was leaving, I was 15.
Okay. Oh, all right. When you were leaving Ghana, you were 15. Okay, so you've been out for a while.
Kinda.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
I have 3 older sisters.
3 older sisters, so you're the last one?
Last time I checked, yeah.
That's nice. And your parents, what job were they doing?
I lost both of them, unfortunately. My dad was a commissioner for police.
Okay.
That's why I love the police. And my mother was an administrative secretary at the castle.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were from a well-to-do home, though?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Commissioner of police, yes.
Yeah. But, well, and he ended up commissioner of police. Yes. That's on exit he was. He didn't start at. So you got.
They all don't start there, but you're still, not a low class.
Anyway, what's your question? Class. What's your real question, man?
No, we just we're getting to know who you really are.
Confusion.
No, we are getting to know who you really are.
So listen. So my background, I've done some advocacy work also. I represent Ghanaians, and I represent them well. Let me tell you what traveling around the world does to you.
Yeah.
It exposes you to a level, like I have seen excellence at the end of the spectrum. And I cry, I sit and I cry, because I just don't understand how these people are able to flawlessly do this, and we seem to have a problem. And so leadership, it's painful.
Is it not money?
No?
It's not money.
Na yewu sika nso kɔma ne yɛn. Adwene, sister, adwene.
But then, sitting government said the same thing.
Oh, Massa, but if you don't have the brains, how do you make it work?
But they told us they had the brains. That's what
They
we were
told us.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then
but
we voted them into power.
No.
And everybody seems to be complaining now.
Yasumia, you did too much. So when somebody comes on the set and speaks well and they're from a good family and all of that, we grade them that, let's give them a chance. Asema all kind of, what are the people saying? Let me tell you something. Let me talk to you about my threesome. Don't get excited. Threesome, right? Kofi's mega threesome is what? Number one, we have to change the Constitution.
From what to what?
From what it is today to a totally different Constitution where the presidency has too much power.
Okay.
The presidency needs to be run without the exemptions they have, so that they can feel like the average person, feel the way the average person feels, so they can think when they make decisions or call policies into existence.
Okay.
Okay. Number two, we need to eradicate corruption. Nobody is going to be able to become a successful president in Ghana if they do not truncate corruption.
How are you going to do it?
Simple, 3 levels: administratively, criminally, psychologically. Administratively, because we don't have the institutional infrastructures to perform what we need to do, number one. So on an administrative level, we deal in cash. All cash handling goes away. It becomes electronic money, debits and credits. If we did the debits and credits, Cecilia Dapa will not be sleeping on a $1 million mattress, right? Okay, she doesn't want to say yes, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, all of a sudden she's still.
No, it's not about me being still. You are saying your point, which I'm listening to you.
Good.
So once you're making your point, I'm here to listen.
You
don't worry about it.
You don't want to interrupt. Oh, she is so courteous.
Please continue.
Okay, so now listen. If we have to do any transaction, it would be a debit or a credit memo. So nobody gets their hands on cash, and you can't steal. And plus, it works on a system. What is a system? A system is a 3-prong administrative program that it has to do with performance and evaluations that predetermines an outcome. That's what a system is. It's got an objective, it's got a mechanical part of the system, and it has the discipline, which no Ghana sector has. Every sector in Ghana works on personality. When you work on based on personality, outcomes change based on who the personality is. That's why our systems and our institutions are not successful. We have to work on system-based.
Okay.
When you system-based, then you address risk from upfront. That's not what we do in Ghana.
What will be your size of government?
10 ministers, 10 ministries.
10 ministries? How many ministers?
10.
10 ministers. Any deputies?
Maybe some, but the ministers, key ministers are going to be 10. No regional ministers, wasted time.
Why?
Because they don't serve any purpose. What do ministers, regional ministers do? But now, I really want to finish this point, because so the threesome. So change the constitution, eradicate corruption, and institute a national development plan. Okay, anytime I say that, people say, oh, Kofi, there is a national development plan. No, there isn't, because not until it's entrenched in a constitution, you don't have one.
Okay.
Anybody brings in a manifesto. That's why the MPP came out with 1 million promises. NDC comes out with 1,000,001 promises. Means nothing. It's the same thing in their playbook. It goes nowhere when they get into power, because they don't go by what's in their manifesto. But if we have a national development plan entrenched in the Constitution for the next 50 years. 4-year timelines. Every 4 years, we have a timeline. We do an evaluation. You did well, you didn't do well. If you didn't do well, get out of here. But it doesn't change. Then, obviously, we're moving forward. Anybody who comes in moves the ball forward. You see what I'm saying?
So there's a message that has come in for you. This one says, Roslyn, Master Kofi is too gentle. Oh. Hey, Ghana dear, bugao.
And ye bugania de yadrin. Ye de bugania yadrin, Carolines by who change Ghana. Massa. Yadrin de dear. I know the systems. If you've ever listened to Lee Kuan Yew, no ye buga.
But it's in Ghana. You are saying Lee Kuan Yew.
Massa. People, let me tell you, Rosalind, people are the same everywhere in the world. People are not different. And let me prove to you, if you take Ghanaians, everybody in your studio today working in there, we take them to New York, we fly them to New York this afternoon. They get to New York, they will all be behaving like New Yorkers. High performance, they will all, I'm telling you.
But in Ghana.
But this is what I'm saying. So what is it in Ghana that causes them to low perform? Environment, leadership.
Okay, so this one says, hi, my name is Kweku Wusu from Kumasi. Please, I think this man needs a chance to become a president of this nation. Okay, Kweku.
Anybody who's a serious thinker, listen, let me tell you this. These leaders that we've had, who've caused this country to be in the galamsey, written, stricken, all the nonsense, they are binary level 1 thinkers. You need leadership at a level 5. Crypto, qubits, high spectrum thinking.
You said you reduce the
ministers.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm coming. I'll come back to you. Please, I will vote for this man for having an idea to change the constitution. Someone is seriously bringing C to Ghana. Okay, so you, not just the ministers, you actually did mention that you reduce the power of the president if you should be voted as president. Now, then who becomes the decision maker? Is it parliament or who?
Listen, the whole idea is what we're coming in with was a mastermind. Right now, currently, we're working with all the aspirants who got disqualified because they all have brains. And we want to bring them all into our leadership mastermind. Because you see, one big thing, one tenet of leadership is to have the humility to understand that you don't know it all. And to be able to assemble to get to one of the things that we need, and one of the things that these breed of leaders don't have, is the intellectual ability to process. So what a mastermind does is when you bring all these presidential aspirants together, they form a mastermind. And with a mastermind, guess what? You do a master class. And with a master class, you get the master key. Now, the master key is what's going to give you create the systems for you.
Okay.
The systems creates structures, and the structures will give rise to standards.
Okay.
The standard is what's going to be the success model that you use. We don't have structures in Ghana. Okay, and from the structure, you need a leadership of excellence. Leadership of excellence promotes values, competence, talents. That's what a leadership of excellence does. And a leadership of excellence punishes corruption and substandardness. Do you see these governments punishing corruption? Right or right? Do they punish corruption? They don't.
Well, some of them do, don't they?
To what extent? To the extent that it really makes a difference to a bottom line?
What's your extent of punishment?
Massa, death penalty.
Okay.
You go in for life, man. We won't cut your head off, but you're going in for life. We're putting you away for life.
But that's different from death penalty.
Well, that option is going to be open to Ghana for, if Ghana. Because listen, let me tell you why this is. You see, Galamsey, is Galamsey killing people or not killing people?
All been told that it's killing people, though.
Okay, so if Galamsey is killing people, then we already have death penalty. that you didn't even sign up for. They're killing you without your consent. So what's different from me coming in to say, you know, all the evil people who are causing us to die anyway, let's get them off. Did you see my point? My point is the people that corruption is killing, right, is will always be more than the people that Kofi Koranteng will put away for causing death.
All right. So this one says, I'm someone from Wenchi. Mr. Kofi is making some points, but he's saying all people are the same. So what makes him different from all people?
No. I'm talking about all citizens are the same. All human beings are the same. Now, what was done, what's his name again?
No, he did. Samuel, yeah.
Samuel, what I'm referring to is they took the brain of black people, white people, Chinese, Aborigines, whatever, all over the world, and did a sample, deoxyribonucleic sequence research. And they found out that the myelin in our heads, you know, the myelin is the same for all human beings. The only thing that's different is the hair and the pigmentation because of the varying grades of, what do you call that black thing again? That thing that, anyway. So that's what makes people different. But bone structure, the hair, everything, that's where the difference comes in. But as far as the brain is the same. You cannot tell a black man's brain from a white man's brain from a, you can't tell any difference. So what I'm saying is the conditioning of the brain is what determines the outcome of the person. Right. So if we have the right leadership who understands that and they create the circumstances around the people, their outcomes will be different. We will be high performance. We are not high performance as a people because we have leaders who are operating at a level 1 binary thinking level. And we need to change that or we all suffer.
Okay. The way politicians have lied to Ghanaians and they've believed it, that it's very difficult to run a country just because it's hard for their tiny brains. Look at how difficult it is for Rosalind to even get what smart Kofi Koranteng is coming from. Okay.
There's no need to be condescending. Rosalind is doing her work. And she's asking, I think she's asking questions. If you pay attention to what she's asking, there's so much. And I've gotten a lot. I wasn't expecting this type of interview, but you have been very fully fledged. You have gone around the circle, and I think she deserves a big hand.
Oh,
really.
Wow, thank you.
She really does.
Good morning. Please ask him to explain how he will rule with 10 ministers.
Simple.
Kwabi from Ho.
Kwabi?
Yeah.
Kwabi, it's so simple. Go to China, 1.4 billion, and see how they run things. I mean, I went to Shanghai. I went to their development center, spoke to their leaders, and I was embarrassed. Bobby, see, the money we spend in, it's so simple. The money we spend on buying SUVs for these guys who are liabilities in our lives, if we spend that money on Internet of Things, artificial general intelligence, quantum computing, nanotechnology, then we will be operating at such a high level. And let me tell you, Muhammad comes and talks about 24-hour economy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Listen to me. If we have all these technologies, then an 8-hour shift can actually be compressed into 2 hours. Elon Musk has done it in China, right? He has a fully operated factory, no human beings, computers, AI, fully. So what I'm saying is we could go into high production, high-level production, 8 hours, we compress it to 2 hours, so you have 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. That's 24 hours. We work in 6 hours. With Kofi Koranteng, it's going to be a 6-hour economy. Ghanaians are going to work less and live more because our incomes are going to be... It's not about working more.
So for you, you will even reduce the number of... The number of years, hours to work to 6 hours and not 8 hours.
And let me prove to you why that is. Rosal, let me tell you this. Do we have competencies as a country? Yes or no? I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
You sure?
No, I know for sure. Let me prove to you. In 2022, Ghana imported from 208 countries. In 2023, Ghana imported from 214 countries. A friend of mine calls me and said, Kofi, I think that's a lie. I said, what do you mean it's a lie? I never lie. Kofi, there are only 195 countries in the world. So Ghana could not have imported from 214 countries. Yes, you're right. The United Nations designation for a country is 195. Ghana actually went above and beyond and imported things from entities that were not even countries. That's how ridiculous that is. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is everything we import, that means we don't have the competency to do here at home, right or right? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. What does that tell us? Our levels of competency are so low that we have to go somewhere else to get it. Now, if the people who are talking 24 economy, we're going to do this, digitization, all that nonsense, if they would just switch their focus into making Ghanaians competent, then we could do more and then absorb all the domestic importation that we bring into this country.
Kofi, you know, we all know that Ghana is a developing country. As much as we want to change that narrative, we haven't changed it yet. We are still changing it. Mm-hmm. Even in the developed countries, they are doing 24 hours.
No, they're not.
Where you're coming from,
no, they're not.
They don't do 24 hours?
Listen, anybody who says the only place in the whole of America that does 24 hours is New York, and even in New York, downtown Manhattan closes at 6, 5. Sometimes 4. The whole Wall Street is shut down. Okay? So when you come to Chelsea, okay, from maybe financial center, you go to Chinatown. From Chinatown, yeah, there's some activity there. But by 8 or 9 o'clock, they've stopped selling all their secondhand stuff that they sell, right? And then you come to Chelsea. You come to actually go to Village. Village is nightlife, everybody bubbling and stuff in the Village. And then you go to Chelsea nightlife. People hanging out, drinking, eating. And then you go to Midtown Manhattan. Midtown Manhattan is where you would see 24-hour economy. I worked in Midtown, right? So you see 24-hour economy, but that's just Midtown. The moment you go uptown, there's no 24-hour economy.
But are they doing 6 hours?
Oh, some institutions are, but what I'm saying is we're not taking a page out of, you see, this is my problem. My problem is we have to do it like what America took 200, 400 years to get here, so we should take 400. No. If America is taking 400 years to get here, we should take 5 years to get there.
Okay.
Because the technology is available. All you have to do is get the technology. Who says you have to be an inventor of cell phones to use cell phones? You just take the technology and voila.
All right, so I have some messages coming in. This one says, good morning. Ghana needs a total change from the duopoly of NDC and NPP, and Kofi Koranteng is the right person to bring that change. We are voting for him. This is Erica Samoa of Action for Change. All right, so my next message, good morning. When wisdom is speaking, knowledge listen. I must say, Mr. Koranteng is speaking a lot of wisdom, but I want to ask him this question. When a leader says he can do something, he has a proof. What's that one thing he's achieved in his professional life that he's proud of, and this gingers him, he can turn Ghana around or the situation around?
All right, so I work in Hartford, Connecticut, right? I work for the biggest company in the world at that time, Citigroup, and I did systems. My record is there, and I mastered in systems how to systematize everything, and that's why I knew right from the onset that how Ghana was operating was at a very low level, okay? Because we do everything based on personality. We don't systematize things. And one of the reasons is because of the levels of corruption. If we systematize things, then because of the algorithmic nature of, okay, so one of the things I didn't get a chance to talk about when Rosalind asked me about how I'm gonna get rid of corruption is, I talked about administratively, and then the administrative part is very important because there are so many layers I could spend an hour talking about it because it's so dense. But let me tell you this. So we do the institutional infrastructure, we put it on a system. How is that going to run? It's going to run on blockchain.
Okay.
When you use blockchain, you use an algorithmic nature in framing and qualifying your registers.
Okay. You know what? There's so many messages coming in. I want to read most of them because see, if you turn to look on the screen, you see the messages.
Yeah.
So this one said, "Good morning. I'm Prince from Upper East. This man seems to have a lot of change for Ghanaians. We actually need to cut down the powers of the president and restructure our constitution." Okay.
Where are the MPP folks? I thought the MPP folks were going to beat me up this morning.
I really loved what he said about Galamsey operators. In fact, very soon the Bui Dam will be contaminated because the Galamsey is gaining ground around it. Good morning. This man is too knowledgeable. He has just given me hope as a Ghanaian. Mr. Kofi Koranteng with the love eye. I stand there. All right. Good morning. I'm Samir from Obuasi. I want to please ask Mr. Kofi Koranteng his plans with the unemployed youth in case he wins power. I'll let him answer that. I'm Noah from Tema. I wish Ghanaians gave him a chance to become a president. He got a lot of wisdom. Okay. Hello, I'm Victor. I'm watching you live. Anyway, you're too beautiful. Thank you very much.
Oh,
would like to get in touch with you.
That's what we need. Okay, I said that the first time. She's beautiful. Let's move on to the next point.
Exactly. Let's see what's next. Hi, my name is Richard Amankwa from Pong. I think Mr. Koranteng has a lot of good in him for this nation. Our ministers are way too much. Frankly, like he just said, our population compared to China is a big gap difference, but why they functioning properly and better than us, yet with few ministers, it's sad he doesn't have the people behind him at this moment. It's not too late, though. All right. Hello, Joy Prime Television. I am Mukhtar Ibrahim, watching you from Nigeria. I urge the Ghanaians to vote this man in with his level of exposure. Let's give him a chance and see the positive changes he can bring to Ghana and Africa at large. Congratulations to you. Can I have that message, please? Congratulations to you, Brad Kofi. God bless the womb you came from. All right. Please, good morning. Kofi is making sense with his submissions, but I know he's speaking based on his exposure and experiences in life. But the truth be told, Kofi have a long way to go for his ambitions. He should join a winning team. Master P inside Atonsu Kumasi. Hi, I'm Jane from Kumasi. I respect you so much, sir. We are tired of the old men, NPP and NDC. Can you, Kofi Koranteng, Cheddar and Alan, put your forces together, and I bet you NPP and NDC will be nowhere to be found. It might not be easy, but please consider. Okay, you answer that one. Good morning. I want to know how many company does he own or has managed in Ghana before. That's what gives you the idea on how to manage a country. There's a difference between knowing and doing what you know. President Skif Akufo-Addo said the same, and now he's doing different thing when in power. Ghanaians need to give. Good morning, I'm Nana, watching you live from Takrade. This man is speaking wisdom. The Ghanaians need to give him a chance. Good morning. Please, Ankama Prince is my name. Please, my question is that, in what way is Mr. Kofi Koranteng going to fight corruption in Ghana? Because that's too serious. Listen to you live inside DBB. Good morning. I am Nana Kofi from North Kaneshi. I want to know where he's going to get the $10 billion from. I think he already answered that. This one says, hi, Rosalind, kindly ask Kofi Koranteng how he intends to tackle, number 1, unemployment, 2, food insecurities, and the unnecessary importation, 3, commercial agriculture and food processing, 4, how do you intend to systemize our system which aren't working? Savior from Adenta. I'll come back to read the rest. You can continue sending your messages to our 055-157-5757, 055-157-5757. I think the unemployment is one thing, especially coming from Obuasi, where there's a lot of galamsey ongoing.
Yeah, the whole Obuasi should be shut down. Because they are all cancer-stricken. Seriously, I went there. They don't know, but it's coming. It's in them. But anyway, so I want the whole of Ghana to pay attention to me for less couple of minutes, if, of course, my dearest Rosalind is going to allow me to. But please pay attention to what I'm saying, because this is Ghana's problem. To fix it, listen to me. We have arable lands. Okay, so now let me start with this so you can get how I am thinking. Western region is 13,000 842 kilometers squared, Western region. Tokyo is 13,452 kilometers squared. That means Western region is bigger than Tokyo by almost 400 kilometers squared. Now, there are 37.1 million people who live in Tokyo. 37.1 million people. There are 2 million people who live in Western region. Western region has more resources. If it were a country, Western region, it would be maybe between the 19th to the 25th richest country in the world. Now, I'm not saying region. If Western region alone were a country, okay, it's certainly richer than Tokyo. Why is it that we only have 2 million people there? My point, couple of points. We could take the whole of Ghana, 33, 35 million people, and if we rearrange Western region properly, we could put it in Western region. Fact. When you go to Shanghai, more than 10,000 buildings in Shanghai are over 30-story building. In Ghana, I don't know of a 30-story building. See? Problem number one. Okay. So if we were to put the whole of Ghana into Western region, what happens to the rest of Ghana? We will section off and start reclamation for all the galamsey-stricken areas, and the rest of the land use it for agriculture. Without a doubt, we are going to be the agricultural hub of the world.
So you move every Ghanaian citizen to the Western region?
I'm not saying that physically, but I just want you to get a sense of how better repositioning of our people can bring value and wealth. Now, if we got into agriculture and we did this drone-controlled mechanized farming, and Saudi Arabia proved it after the Russian-Ukraine war, when Ukraine started depleting supplies, commercial supplies of wheat, Saudi Arabia went into aggressive planting of wheat. Now they export wheat in commercial quantities.
Wheat.
Right? Seriously? Okay, so a couple of things. So we can do it. We have the land, we have the rain, we have the sun, we have mineralized soil. Okay, so I just proved the point to you that we don't have to be dependent on Ukraine, as our president gets on a chartered flight and goes to Ukraine to beg them for help. It's senseless. Point number two, if we put the $10 billion into drone-controlled mechanized farming, the output from the agriculture, we add value to global quality. If it's global quality, then everybody will be buying from us. When that happens, we will get in return, we will get the foreign exchange reserves. The three things we're going to do with the foreign exchange reserves is this. Number one, our debts are alarming. 760 billion cedis of debt. We need to bring it down to manageable levels or China will come and call us. Call means you can't pay your debts. Get out of here. Let's control and pay your debts for you. And that means they will control us for the next 100 years. We don't want that. So we need to pay down our $760 billion CD debt to manageable levels. That's part one of the foreign exchange reserves that we're getting. Part two of the foreign exchange reserves, we are going to expand what we call the horizontal integrations of industry. We're going to build more industry to add more value to everything that's leaving Ghana. We will not export sand, anything out of Ghana if we cannot max out the spectrum of quality, value, or the product. So that means that if it's a cocoa bean, we don't give it out dry to another Switzerland. No. For them to make their lints and all the Godivers and all the chocolates. No. What we will do is we will make the chocolates to their highest level and then give it to them if you want to buy. But we're not going to give them the bean. You see?
Okay. I have a few messages coming in.
I really want to get this in so people understand, because this is where... So now...
If you can wrap it in 2 minutes and I can take
1 minute. So when we do this and we start investing in agro-based industries, we absorb the unemployment. People start making money because now the development of, and adding value of our products is going to increase the competencies. We will train people to do that. And then the third part of the foreign exchange reserve, we put it in our central bank so that we have foreign exchange reserves. If we have to go back into the commodities market, we don't go and borrow or liquidate the forex on the street. Liquidating the forex on the street is what causes our city to go down against the dollar. Common sense. Who can prove me wrong? Nobody can prove me wrong because it's fact.
Okay. Rosalind, honestly, Kofi Koranteng has what it takes to effect change and transformation in this nation. I've been listening to him for some time now, and he's really talking out the needed solutions and resolve strategies that Ghana needs. Ghana needs to give him an opportunity. Phil, watching from Ikropong, Eastern Region. Hi, host. I appreciate your views on the gold coins, but what's the difference between the gold coins? Oh, no, this is not to do with what we are talking about. Let's move on. President Kofi, you have one sure vote from me. Let's hope the rest changes their minds. Julius Bina from Adenta. Good morning. I'm Benedict from Buioso. Talking about competency, sir, please, what would you do to encourage Ghanaians to purchase cantankerous vehicles? Thank you. You want to say that quickly?
Yeah, listen.
Just 1 minute. So I have a lot of messages, please.
Raul wants to do, listen, Kantanka. I'm looking for Kantanka. I want to tell Kantanka that every government vehicle should be a Kantanka vehicle. Just by that alone. And every region should have a Kantanka. Listen. So, guys, you need to listen to me. Listen, Rosalind, this is so important. Now, I talked about investing in the agro-based industries. But now what you didn't, you remember when I said the second thing we're going to use of the foreign exchange reserve is to expand, do the horizontal integration, right? Okay. The reason why we're doing the horizontal integration is once we go to that level and do the agriculture level, the next set of foreign exchange reserves that's coming in, we go to the domestic market. Refrigerators, stoves, gas cookers, air conditioners, rice cookers. Guess who's going to be commissioned to do that? Ting, 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 ting. Kantanka.
Okay, this is Jeff from UK. Has Kofi got Twitter or X space coming up? I want to attend a space if he's holding one.
Thursday,
okay.
We have a space coming.
All right. And
get
so
Frank and those guys
what's your X account?
Kofi Koranteng. Kofi Koranteng.
Thursday, what time?
Thursday, I think, what time is it? 7 o'clock, 7:30, somewhere around there.
Fantastic. Okay, hi, my name is Eben. I want to ask Mr. Kofi Koranteng, why didn't he join NKB?
Listen, the Chad is a friend of mine. We would talk. He has a way, and I have my way. My non-negotiables, and we're still talking, so there could be, we could come together at some point. But this is it. My non-negotiables are, we need to change the Constitution, eradicate corruption, institute a national development plan, reduce the size of government by 73%, make it effective, efficient, and functional. And number 5, invest $10 billion into a drone-controlled mechanized farming so that Ghana would be the agricultural hub of the world.
Okay.
Boom. That's it.
Right. Great mind right there. Wish I'm close to him. More knowledge will be impacted. Mr. Koranteng, if you are... if you come into power, will there still be free SHS? All right. Tell him to focus on his unrealistic vision and stop attempting to poo-poo the 24-hour economy proposed by JM. John Mahama's 24-hour policy is the best thing that can happen to Ghana. How true is it that he has been sponsored by the NPP to subtract from those seeking change so that the NPP can win? Musa Nima says so. Hello, good morning. I'm Emmanuel from Takrade. I really love the knowledge he's speaking. Ghana is a developing country. It needs engineers to build it and not lawyers to defend it. When we are done developing, then we can manage and defend it. Good morning. This is the Blessed Zico from Kechebi. Mr. Kofi is good at what he does, knowledgeable and possessed a lot of quality due to his exposure, but Ghana isn't ready for him yet due to duopoly advancement. Okay.
Oh, gosh, man. Okay, so good.
So with regards to this, this one says, good morning. I'm McCarthy from McCarthy Hill, okay. I'm Daniel from McCarthy Hill, sorry. I have an appeal. Please interview this man at least 10 times before the elections. Kofi himself must feature on all the key TV stations in Ghana. Please, Kofi, you are extraordinary and I love you. I want you as president. Okay. Good morning, host. The labor unions are divided because the Kufuor has bastardized. Okay, this one says labor union, but this one has nothing to do with this. All right, hi, I'm Kofi Bento. Please, I want to know how your planning schedule will be like, considering all you have said. Moreover, you are going to have only 4 years if voted into power. Okay. Hi, Rosalind. Xavier from Adenta says that I'll do this last one. Ask Kofi his view on think tanks. How does he intend to avert the rampant brain drain that Ghana is experiencing? Okay.
Okay. So brain drain. Which one you? I mean, any question?
There's so many.
Okay. So listen, this is a problem. The problem is like I said, we went from 208 the countries importing from 208 to 214. That means the competencies are going down in Ghana. Where are they going? Brain drain. Brain drain. Next year, I guarantee you, we're going to go from 218 to 214 to something more. Okay, now, this is the problem. The problem is we are not paying our professionals the amount of money we need to pay them, and we're not giving them a reason to stay. All you talked about free SHS. You know what free SHS is good for? Free SHS was an accounting transaction. That's all it was. For somebody to make, or a group of people to make money. Did it elevate the students in terms of structural and strategic thinking? No, because they can't even string a sentence together.
So are you saying free SHS was needful?
No, okay.
Or needless? Let me use a word.
Okay, so a couple of things. The concept is great. It was ineffective the way it was executed. And the reason is, and let me prove it to you. Ah, man, I wish I had more time.
I wish you had more time, but unfortunately, we have just like a minute to wrap up.
Okay, so let me tell you why free SHS, you impart a child when their brain is malleable, when they are the youngest. That's why in the West and everywhere else, when the children are young, is when they do the most sophisticated and complex things, so it can build their synapses into thinking in multiplicity of things, okay? That's how you, so what I'm saying is if you want to affect children, you affect them from the earliest of age, kindergarten, and then you spectrum them through the education process all the way to senior high school. The problem is when you take all the money and you ignore the children all the way to free senior high school and you come, boom, drop the money on them at senior high school, their brains are already forged.
Okay.
It's a lot difficult to change their minds because one more to me,
Kofi
I don't know what all the money in the world is not going to change much.
Okay, Kofi, thank you.
Oh,
Kofi,
see, Rosalind, no problem. No, Ghana, no problem now, Rosalind.
Kofi has been here for over an hour. I want to say a very big thank you for making time for us. Unfortunately, this whole time will permit to ask for this segment. And I know the messages are coming in. I've seen all your messages, but I can't continue. I've read over 30 messages this morning, and we are grateful that you could send in your messages. If you think he's the right candidate or the next person that you feel can change the face of Ghana, when you go to the polls, we have 59 days to cast our vote. Vote for him. He is a New Vision movement. And so you look for him. What's your number on the ballot sheet?
10.
Number 10.
Captain, 10. Vote for 10. Listen, Rosalind is going to vote for me. Listen, number 10. That's where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah, lead 10 commandments. Okay.
Right. So that's what Kofi Koranteng says. So if you feel he's the right person, go cast your vote for him. This all time will permit us, like I told you earlier.